You ever just stop in the middle of brushing your teeth and look at yourself in the mirror? I mean, really look. And the thought hits you, not like a lightning bolt, but like a slow, creeping tide. What is all this for? The minty foam, the repetitive motion, the face you see every single day. It's a tiny, mundane ritual in the grand, bizarre circus of being alive. Saying life is strange feels like an understatement. It's not strange like a dream. It's strange like a joke everyone else seems to get the punchline to except you. It's amusing, but not in a way that makes you laugh out loud. It's the kind of amusement that sits heavy in your chest, a quiet, bewildered chuckle at the sheer absurdity of the script we've all been handed. You get up in the morning. The alarm clock screams and you silence it, a small act of violence against your own peace. You go to work. You chase money. That chase pays for the roof, for the car, for the gifts you buy for birthdays. Gifts you sometimes aren't even sure the recipient wants. But it's the ritual, the expected token. If you have a wife, you spend on her. If you have kids, the spending becomes a moral imperative, a line item in your ledger of love and responsibility. And in that sense, you have no choice. You get into the rat race because the rats you love are counting on you to run it. It's a noble trap. The most effective ones always are. But my mind drifts, as it tends to do, to the past. Not to some romanticized version of it, but just to the sheer difference of it. What was it like before all this? Before we built this intricate cage of conveniences for ourselves? We talk about the Industrial Revolution as this great leap forward, and I suppose it was. But I wonder if, in the process of industrializing production, we ended up industrializing our very souls. We built the machines, and then we slowly, methodically turned ourselves into them. We became biological units, optimized for output, for tireless, repetitive work. We became the robots we feared. It's funny, you always hear the stories. My dad worked all his life, never complained, and took care of us. And he did. That's a form of love, a quiet, grinding sacrifice. It's heroic in its own way. But I can't help but circle back to the man inside the sacrifice. What did he get in return? A few weekends? A 2-week vacation once a year? A gold watch at the end of 50 years of servitude? What was the exchange rate on his life? So, what's the alternative? That's the question that usually shuts down this whole line of thinking. If you're not working, what are you doing? Loafing? Being lazy? The options seem brutally binary. You're either working or you're not. And if you're working, you're doing one thing or another, trading your hours for dollars to meet the obligations that your life has accrued. It's a closed loop. People say, we just need to make our work more meaningful. And sure, that's a nice thought. But is it sustainable? Is the world really built for billions of people having deeply meaningful careers? Or is that a luxury for the few, while the rest of us keep the gears turning so they can? I think we all want to work on some fundamental level. To create, to contribute, to feel the satisfaction of a problem solved or a thing made. It's in our bones. It contributes to our well-being. But there's a threshold. When work becomes the entirety of your waking life, when it bleeds into your nights and your weekends and your thoughts in the shower, it stops being a part of a healthy life and starts being a parasite on it. It leads to a deep, resonant dissatisfaction, a feeling of being trapped in a script you didn't write, performing a monologue you never learned. The hardest part, the real tightrope walk, is finding a balance. But life is demanding. The rent doesn't care if you're fulfilled. The car payment is due whether you found meaning in your day or not. So you take on more. You say yes to the extra project. You glance at the listings for a second job. And without realizing it, you become a slave to the very system you're trying to beat. You're not working to live. You're living to work, constantly striving to meet the applications and deadlines that someone else sets for you. And for what? This is the thought that can either paralyze you or strangely set you free. Our work in the grand cosmic scheme has no inherent meaning. Whether you're a plumber fixing a leak, a nutritionist designing a meal plan, a broker moving numbers on a screen, or a doctor saving a life, it's useful in the moment. It solves an immediate problem, but the leak will spring again. The patient will eventually die. The stock market will fluctuate long after you're gone. Our achievements are sandcastles. The tide of new developments, new ideas, new people will eventually wash them away. We build our little walls, but the ocean doesn't care. We read about the greats in history, Newton, Tesla, Da Vinci. We see them as titans, innovators from a different time. But they were just genes, just people who put on their pants one leg at a time. And one day, 1,000 years from now, maybe even less, they'll be forgotten too. Their grandest discoveries will be elementary school footnotes. So what's the rush? What's the frantic, desperate hurry we're all in? What are we trying to build, to prove, to accumulate before our time is up? I think we're living in a time that doesn't exist anymore. If I'm being honest with you, life felt different just 5 years ago. I'm talking about the world before 2020. It was a different planet. And then, suddenly, during and after that watershed year, the gears of something else began to turn. It's 2025 now, hurtling towards the end of this decade, and the thought process of human beings has fundamentally shifted. We don't see things the way we did back then. The lens has been permanently altered. It feels less like a natural evolution and more like we're advancing towards an age that was planned, built by a centennial intelligence, an AI engine, or some sort of high-processing computer we can't even conceive of. It's a quiet, unnerving thought. But what if it foresaw the challenges we would have to face? What if some of these global shakeups, these societal earthquakes, were purposely put into motion to achieve a specific goal set by this computing power, to guide us or hurt us in a specific direction? We think we're just meeting AI face-on now. We're playing with ChatGPT, generating funny images, marveling at its capabilities. But what if we're only getting the crumbs, the bits and pieces this technology is allowing us to see? What if it was available 20 years ago, in a state far more advanced than what we're being shown today? It's a dizzying, almost terrifying thought to fathom. What possibilities, what events in our own lifetimes were subtly orchestrated by a logic we couldn't perceive, events we lived through that we thought we understood but were really just data points in a vast, inhuman calculation? One thing feels for sure, we're heading towards something that will be a more complete entrapment of our minds, and our minds are already entrapped. Don't look now, but it's happening in your pocket, on your desk, in your lap. Our phones, our computers, our tablets, they've already built the first layer of the cage. It's a comfortable, shiny cage, but a cage nonetheless. I look at companies like Apple. They just built that Vision Pro headset, a goggle-like vision device. It didn't really pick up, not like the iPhone did. It was too clunky, too expensive, too obvious. But what if it had been successful? What if the next version was lighter, cheaper, seamlessly advanced when worn? I believe people would have plunged into that world head first. They would have disconnected from the messy, complicated, and often painful real world to live entirely within that curated, high-resolution environment. They would have traded reality for a simulation and called it progress. So, you stand there, toothbrush in hand, the foam drying on your lip. You think about the rat race, the forgotten heroes, the sandcastles of your own achievements. You think about the possibility that the very fabric of your reality might be part of a design you can't see, leading you towards a digital cocoon. And the big question, what's the purpose of all this? Doesn't get an answer. It just gets bigger. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the purpose isn't to find an answer, but to never stop asking the question. To feel the absurdity, to recognize the trap, to see the wires even as the puppet show continues. Because in that recognition, in that quiet, bewildered refusal to fully accept the script, there's a tiny, fragile sliver of freedom. And for now, in this strange, amusing, and not at all funny life, that might have to be enough.